Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Here are 10 reasons why it sucks to be born as a walrus. Number 10. Why it sucks to be born as a walrus. If I were born again as an animal, I would not want to be a walrus. Sure, they're big, powerful creatures that can easily crush your skull with their giant tusks. But they spend way too much time doing nothing. They just sit there on those ice floes, looking kind of stupid. If I was going to be a sea creature, I'd rather be fast, like a shark or a dolphin, or at least have some cool camouflage patterns like a flounder. But walruses are slow, fat, and ugly. Number 9. Blubber problems. Walruses have tons of blubber. This is actually what makes them so good at surviving in freezing cold waters. The thick layer of fat keeps them warm, allowing them to live in the Arctic, where the water temperature can be as low as -2 degrees Celsius. And although this is great for them, because it means they don't have to shiver and shake constantly to generate heat, it also means they have trouble getting around. Imagine trying to run while waddling. That's basically what a walrus has to deal with all the time. Not only do they have to move in this awkward manner, but being overweight puts a lot of strain on their bodies. Because of this, walruses often suffer from arthritis and joint pain. Plus, if you're a female walrus, things get even worse because when you're pregnant, the extra weight becomes even more unbearable. Females will actually starve themselves to keep from gaining more weight. Yeah, a walrus diet is insane. These animals can eat up to 17,000 calories a day. This is equivalent to 65 large eggs. Yet, despite eating this much, females will still lose body fat during pregnancy. Can you imagine being so hungry all the time that you need to eat 65 eggs a day, but you're still losing weight? What kind of messed up Twilight Zone world is that? No. 8. Tusky troubles. Walrus tusks are pretty badass. They can grow up to 11 pounds and 30 inches long. Having such large tusks gives the walrus an advantage over other predators. No polar bear wants to mess with a walrus, because those tusks are like swords. Male walruses use their tusks to stab each other in fights over territory and dominance. So you can't exactly call them a pacifist species. Yet somehow people think it's okay to take these tusks away from them. In some countries, it's legal to hunt walruses and take their tusks as trophies. Hunters in Russia used to kill about 2,000 walruses every year just for their tusks. Fortunately, the hunting has slowed down since then. But the fact that someone thought it was a good idea in the first place shows how screwed up our planet is. Number 7. Being chubby can get you killed. For the same reasons that make walruses good swimmers, they're also really bad swimmers. Their chunky bodies make it hard to maneuver underwater, which leaves them vulnerable to shark attacks. Sharks are always looking for easy meals, and a group of slow-moving walruses is basically a buffet. Speaking of being slow, if you see a baby walrus separated from the pod, then you should probably stay away. Mother walruses will literally bite off your hand if you get too close to their young. They're protective AF, but there is another reason why you should go anywhere near a walrus if you see one in the wild. When they're out of water, they can move surprisingly fast, running up to 25 miles per hour on land. If you've ever seen footage of a walrus stampede, you know exactly what I mean. There's nothing fun about being crushed by a bunch of walruses. No? 6. Tooth trouble. You might think a mouthful of teeth is better than a pair of tusks, but let me tell you, that's not the case for walruses. Having so many teeth is actually a major problem for them. While they're babies, their mouths are full of baby teeth. These teeth are then replaced by their adult teeth as they get older. For whatever reason, the number of teeth varies wildly from one walrus to the next. Some have 24, others have 44, but they all have the same amount of problems. All these teeth are extremely sharp, like needles. Since walruses are constantly biting each other, they end up hurting themselves all the time. Say goodbye to your gums. Also, imagine trying to sleep with a mouthful of needles. No. 5. No escape. One of the worst parts about living in the Arctic Circle is that there is no escape from the sun. During the summer, the sun never sets. It shines brightly in the sky for 24 hours a day. This means walruses never get a break from the sunshine. They can't even retreat into a cave to hide. There aren't any caves in the Arctic. Instead, they're stuck out in the open, baking in the sun. It's like living in Las Vegas, except with snow. Most animals are able to deal with this type of environment, but not walruses. They start suffering from sunburn and skin cancer. This is why you always see them laying on patches of snow. The white surface helps reflect the sunlight and keeps them from burning to a crisp. Number 4. They have few friends. Walruses are known for having bad breath. Fact, it's so bad that scientists have actually studied it. Researchers found that walrus breath is 100 times worse than human breath. Even though they eat tons of fish, their breath still stinks. This doesn't make it easy to find friends. Polar bears, ringed seals, and bearded seals won't hang out with a walrus because they'll probably throw up. And who could blame them? Now, it's not all bad news. Walruses tend to get along with beluga whales, even though I personally wouldn't want to risk being anywhere near that thing if it started burping. Still, it's nice to know that the walruses aren't completely friendless. No. 3. Cruel summer. Just when walruses think things can't get any worse, summer rolls around, and the heat starts rising. The Arctic temperatures are getting warmer every year, which means the ice floes where walruses hang out are starting to melt earlier in the year. This forces them to head further north in search of new ice. But there's a problem. As the climate changes, the walruses have to swim longer distances to find suitable ice floes. It's like trying to find parking in downtown LA, only this is much more dangerous for the walruses. They have to swim further, which means they get exhausted. Swimming longer than usual also exposes them to more predators. Add to that the fact that they're carrying tons of blubber that makes it hard to move, and you've got a recipe for disaster. No. 2. They're always hungry. Like I said before, walruses eat 17,000 calories a day. This is a lot of food, but it's still not enough. Sometimes there simply isn't enough food in the Arctic Circle to satisfy a hungry walrus. They've been spotted stealing other animals' food. If a walrus sees a seal with a fish in its mouth, you can bet that seal won't get a chance to eat it. Walruses will also steal each other's food. They don't care if you've spent all day catching dinner. If they're hungry enough, they're going to try and take it. That's right, walruses are kleptoparasites. No. 1. Hammer time. Imagine waking up in the morning and finding your favorite body part has been chopped off. Well, that's exactly what happens to male walruses every single year. It's kind of like a walrus version of spring break. Every year, males gather together to rub their genitals against each other. They do this as a form of dominance display. But you know what happens as a result? Their penises fall off. Yeah, literally. How does this happen? Well, the male walruses are rubbing their tusks together so hard that their penises literally fall off. This is then followed by a frenzy of walruses biting each other's severed penises. This is a true story. Scientists discovered 4 walruses with missing penises on an island in Siberia. One of the tusks of a male walrus had been broken off, suggesting that he had been engaging in the walrus penis chopping ritual. He had probably fought with another male who had bitten off his own penis in the fight. It's a gruesome scene, but that's just how messed up nature can be sometimes. Let us know in the comments and stay tuned for more animal videos. Thank you for watching.